Alright class, this is very likely going to be the last lesson on Arcane Assembly. So you better listen up. This will be on the tests. Welcome back to Arcane Assembly. Previously, we made that thing. And we also made that. And we destroyed some bosses with it. And we finished a wasteland. Of course I didn't I didn't have enough time to go back and look for any closed doors in any areas. I would imagine anything behind the closed doors is probably another one of these crystals. And that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell my major artifacts. I'm going to use them to buy upgrade. If I can buy upgrade. More mana. Thank you. And of course we got introduced to yet another currency. Whatever the hell these things were called. That could level up our damage potential. And I leveled up Sharp because I have my sword wave. Actually, I should call it Storm of Swords. And every time I hit R, I'm activating my mage armor. You know what? Storm of Swords is proving to be very valuable. I don't think we need Peck this guy in particular anymore. We're going to make this the primary spell. And we're going to import some other player spells that I have found. There was one that looked really, really cool. It was some kind of like orbiting sword and flame thing, but they didn't include an export file, and I couldn't read what he did in the picture. Also, the picture was broken, so I couldn't make it bigger. I'm not quite sure how, but that was going to be forever. It's going to be forgotten magic, unfortunately. I'm just too lazy of a wizard. But we could try this one. I almost hit X, which would have probably been bad. Shapes! Shapes was made by a person named... hold on, I wrote their name down somewhere on one of these spells. There's a few spells. Kylo Monkey. Kylo Monkey made this spell. Let's take a look at what he did. He's using Spawn with Offset because he's able to place a mouse angle plus 180 on it. And he has a bunch of variables here. Like the starts variable, and mfar, and sides. It looks like what he's doing here is that it generated a random number between 1.3 and 6.7, and plus 99%, I assume. And then it prints out the sides variable, gives it an aspect, and depending on how the sides turn out, it coughs up a certain kind of shape with a certain kind of element. As far down as 1. It just shoots a 1 orb. So that's the shapes. You can find that on the Steam guides. Kylo Monkey. Let's take it for a spin. On the right click. I'll try... There we go. It shoots a random shape, depending on how many sides it rolled. That looks like it's actually an 8, because I see a 5 pop up and then 3 more pop up. So that's actually an 8. That's a 4. That's a 5. 4. 8. They seem to mostly land in the 4s and 8s. Here's a 7, a 6. That looks like it was a 3. That looks like a 3. So maybe that is a 5, and it's just acting weird with the connect. So you can see it mostly rolls between... Oh, that's an 8 or a 7. That's the Llama Lana star, or the Egg Lana star. But you can see this spell is really cheap to cast. I can just spam this thing. It's crazy. So let's try another one. That was shapes. I like shapes. I used shapes in my previous playthrough. Because I was less original than I was here. I can't do my rocket shotgun yet. We needed a thing we're going to be getting shortly. But we could probably try this one. It's a big block of text, so you got to give me a second to copy-paste it all in my notepad. Oh, I guess this also needs a spell that I don't have yet. So we'll make that one later. We'll try this one instead. I believe this is also a Kalo Monkey creation here. Yes, laser sword. You can make a lightsaber. He's spawning with offset. He makes the back of the laser. And then he makes the front of the laser and he connects them. And then, I guess there's a bunch of if-then statements to make sure it doesn't go too far away from you, because it is a sword. So let's take a look at that. This is done. Shapes is cool and all. I don't have enough mana to cast Laser Sword. And he's 482, so I'm gonna have to slap I'm gonna have to slap some more mana on myself before I can cast Laser Sword. Alright. Well, surely there's gonna be warps, so we'll try out Laser Sword a little bit later. Remind me in the past, or I mean in the future. Remind my past self in the future to try out Laser Sword, because I might forget. We'll try this one. Electro Stretch! It's a lightning bolt spell. At least it costs 76 mana, so that's good. It's got Squeak and it's got Eek. It spawns an orb, it adds Squeak to Eek, and then connects them. And I have no idea what sets is, but it says sets the value of the input variable to the input value of the second argument. So whatever 0 is, becomes 4. I'm not quite sure what that means. This is a little bit beyond my ken, but at least I could cast it. Lightning Bolt! Lightning Bolt! It spawns a bunch of harmless orbs, too. That means there seems to be a side effect to whatever they're doing with this spell. But yeah, you can shoot a lightning bolt. And according to their notes, you can make the lightning bolt longer or shorter by changing the repeat. Like, every single one is like 5. Yep, I accidentally muted myself when I hit the 3. I saw it. But you saw what happened. When I changed it to 1, it became 5 feet long. When I change it to 2, it'll be 10 feet long. I have to stop hitting the 3 button on my numpad. I'm just so used to that. So that was Lightning Bolt. I got one more. This one's from a different person. Well, actually, I got a few more. I just can't cast them yet. I'm sure this one will work. A pentagram! It's really simple, it looks like. It's just making a few variables. He's putting enhancements on it. He makes something that's 85. Multiply speed of 3. Wow, that's going to be fast when he throws it. It spawns a bunch of orbs, which are different multiplications of that original value up here, 85. So there's 0, there's half of 85, there's 85, there's 50% more than that, 100%, all the way up to 4.5. And then it spawns a bunch of orbits and a bunch of connects. Let's take a look. Let's see what they cooked up. That. Whoa, that's pretty. I like that. It makes a ward in the middle, too. That is a pretty one. I like that one. And it's relatively cheap. Yeah, that's a cool one. Just pause the video and copy that down. Just zoom in nice and close. Just do all of that. And you can make a very pretty spell. There's the top half. There's the bottom half. Enjoy. That's it for spells for right now. I like the Penta. That's a cool one. That's almost as cool as the Blade one that I found. But I got that. It's relatively close. I can just hoof it. Use my Blade spell on things and make them regret. You know what? I should... I'm on hard mode now. So I take additional damage, and you're going to see decimal points going crazy. I saw at least 5 decimal places. 5 decimal places. So that's, what, a billionth? That's a billionth. This game sure loves its numbers. Ow, that took exactly 10.5% of my health. Alright, there was a locked door down here. If I remember correctly, yes. We got a key! White is blinking. Oh, spawn with offset. It's telling you how spawn with offset works, but I already showed you how that works last time. Welcome to hell! At least it's easier. I found it easier than the Wasteland. We got spooky music. We got ancient ruins. We got spike traps. They'll spike you. I remember this area not being that particularly long, but it introduces you to these. Yes, they will combine them with the dashes and the double jump shortly. Speaking of which, I should dash more. Hi, dummy. Does this mean I'm going to get a new modifier soon? Near the end of the game? We got those lads. Once again, they're shooting fire at me. Luckily, my storm of swords goes right through terrain. Right or down? Which platforming challenge do I want to do first? Aha! That's new. We can't shoot that with a regular orb either. That ain't gonna work. It's reinforced. It's not like those blocks that we saw in the Wasteland. So we must go down. There's gotta be a new modifier for us. Look, I'm just gonna cheese that. Yeah, I'll just cheese all of that. Pick that jumping puzzle in particular. Ack! Lava! Get waved, loser. It has pretty good range, it does pretty good damage. I can just stagger these things so they don't spike me. Where's my save again? There's my heals again. It's been a while since I played, so I don't remember all my buttons. Yup. Yup. I say nope to your yope. Actually, how about I just do this? Thanks, Shield! Shield! Cheesing out puzzles! Since, well, last year or so when this game was made. We just got weird Cthulhu things all over the place. I don't want to... Well, now I know what that thing does. It does that. Thanks for the money. I could use it for more mana so I could cast that one spell. Good luck. Tight corridors. Even with the double jump. I would try dash, but it's too risky. Dash is too risky. If I get hit at all and end up in the lava, I have to do that puzzle over again. Hello, Mr. Sword. You still think you can stop us? I don't even know who you are. I just hit you with my magic and you die. Jericho the Swordsman. Even as we speak, my brothers are working tirelessly towards our aim. Don't underestimate me. Very well. I got swords. Up button? What do you mean up? I ain't going up. You're going down. It's been years since I had to draw my sword. I thought I could have, like, cheap shot him. You truly are a worthy opponent. No! I didn't get to use my sword! Not fair! Why is your magic so broken? Oh well. What do we get? I think it might be something that lets us go ahead. Explode! I do like exploding things, yes. We got the explode spell. You can even build an explode spell right off the bat. I collide with orb, explode, self. Very simple. Very simple. We can explode now. There you go. Also, it is a very noisy spell. It's the only way to destroy those barriers. Oh boy, another shard. Oh boy, another magic shard. Once I find a warp, I could go level up my... I'll just level up sharp again. Heck, it's my main element. This is ridiculous. It loses its effectiveness right around here. But by that time, everything is dead. Including that boss. I feel so bad for the enemies in this game, because they have to deal with the player's bullshit. Yeah, that dash is extremely risky, and I don't like using it in that area. I'd rather double jump. I would like to head back to there, because that's where the warp is. Can I cheese this the other way around, though? I gotta do this legitimate now. I can't just, can't just use shield unless I do something like that. And even then, I still get hit. Because the wards only take so many hits before they're gone. Excuse me, pardon me. Can't hit me if I shield myself. How come those guys... Oh, right. I just remembered. Souls-like rules apply in this game. If you use a bench, it respawns the enemies. That's how I was doing gold farming. Hit a bench, kill some enemies. Hit a bench, kill some enemies. This was the room I completely cheesed by just dropping straight down. Obviously, it's more effort to go up it. To go up yours! That's what my spells are called. Going up yours. So I might as well build my explosive shotgun now that you see how explode works. Where is it on my list? There it is. Let me copy that real quick. This is just a shotgun version of an explode. Obviously it costs more mana. It doesn't have connect, so it doesn't look very cool, but it's effective! Import. I just spawn a bunch of orbs, I make them shotgun, and then I make them explode. They also have some sharp and ignite on there. I might as well make them all sharp. I mean, might as well. It's my spell. It's just that I was focusing on Ignite the last time I played. Now I'm focusing on Sharp. So the main orb will explode. Everything else will be sharp. Rocket shotgun. You're done. I got a rocket shotgun. My rocket shotgun fires in spurts. If it shoots ya, you'll probably die. Or explode. Either way, I'm gonna level up that Sharp more. And I think unlike the other ones, you could enchant an orb but explode, and still have it do some kind of damage as well. Because I do have an aspect on orb, but it's also an exploding. It's just that... let me see something. Let me see something. On Collide. Well, actually, let's say the entry. Troubleshooting. There's an example of a... on collision. Oh, okay. This is saying that you could spawn an orb and throw it, and when it collides with something, it makes a ward. So that's a neat version of it, but mostly you're going to use it to explode things. Here's one that throws an orb, and on Collide, it spawns another orb. And that spawns an orb, and then it connects the two with a laser beam. And it ends the collision, so you have to make sure that you end the collision. The orb is destroyed if it explodes. Obviously. Because it's exploding. So... begin statement has no corresponding ending. Oh yeah, because I need some more end collisions. We'll put a bunch of on collides on there. There's 5 orbs, there should be 5 on collides, and 5 end collisions. And now... Orb 2... Orb 3... Yeah, what these are doing right now is on collision, they're kind of like nesting, but I didn't put explode on there yet. So Orb 2 will explode, and Orb 3 will explode. 4. They should make them all explode. If it works the way I think it works, we'll do that. Hold on a sec. Yeah, because the on-collide should not be triggering each other. They should be separate on-collides. On-collide explode, on-collide explode. There's... 2. Explode 3. Explode 4. And explode 5. So all these orbs should be exploding now with my rocket shotgun. Feel the load variable? That probably explains why... That probably explains why I only had the one orb exploding. Because I wasn't able to figure out what was going on there. It might be that this is causing some kind of jank with all the other orbs. So I'm just gonna fire a bunch of sharps where they explode. That's fine. Speaking of which, I did level up that. Where was the level up guy? The level up power guy? This dude? Yeah. Sharp upgrade. Oh, that costs 2. I'll hold out. Maybe there's another shard around here somewhere. I will level up my mana. What was that really expensive spell again? That was the laser sword, right? I think I have enough mana for it now. So... de-equip. Yeah, laser sword was like 482. Laser sword! Wow. That's a ray of sharp that I could just carry around like a lightsaber, but it's doing some weird physics things. Like, where is it going? Either way, that's cool. It costs like most of my mana to cast it. But at least there's lots of shots. Back to what we were doing. Abyssal Caverns. I could hit things with my laser sword. Well, it's not even my laser sword. I'll go up. Feels like our last modifier is going to be on the up. There's one last modifier, which is keeping me from casting a few spells. Oh, wasn't there? Yeah, there was another spell. Once we get the last modifier, I can make sure I have all the modifiers. And we can cast another Kylo Monkey spell besides this. Hit my laser. It's not very practical as a weapon. It's not very good as a weapon. It's cool looking. But I could use Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is also cool looking, but doesn't seem to be very effective. Because it has to stick into an enemy. I'll use this one. I'll just use my explosion shotgun. Like that. The explode also does burn. Get exploded, losers! I do like that it also does the burn effect, so that makes Ignite even more useless. Because you got Explode now. You got Make Everyone Explode Now, the spell. Hi! Future me again. Somehow I muted myself right about here. I'm not even sure which button I hit. But fortunately, like half of it was me just platforming through areas and dissing enemies with my sharp laser wave sword thing. So I cut that part out, and we're just going to go ahead and warp ahead to where I found a modifier. Also, I found a key. Look at it, that's pretty shiny. But I also grabbed the final modifier. Enemy Angle. That is basically your homing spell. There is no new thing for it. So Enemy Angle shoots towards enemies instead of your mouse angle. It just chooses the nearest enemy and goes at it. So you can see here. Yeah, it's fairly simple. If you repeat, then you'll be able to shoot an orb that chases enemies. And it'll move rather quickly at that. As you can see down here, there's also a connect, which I'm going to notice very shortly. There we go. That is going to create a parent orb that shoots out child orbs that are connected by a laser, and it also sets parent to child. I'm not quite sure how set particularly works, but as you're going to see when I get back to past present me, you're going to see that it's quite effective. But first, I'm going to be a dummy. recreating the spell that it gave us on the thing. But as we can jump forward a little bit here, because I got a little confused by certain things. Yeah, right about here. I was very confused why enemy angle isn't attaching to my spawn orb. I'm like, how am I going to make this work? And I slowly realized, sometime soon, yeah, I figured out spawn orb was supposed to be on self for first off. But I found out that I needed spawn with offset. And then everything clicked into place. Yeah, see, it's very much working now. Use spawn with offset, that's why they have the extra colored boxes there. And then we have to attach the child to the parents. I'm going to use Sharp, because, well, my focus has been with Sharp magic, so I'm putting a Sharp on that bad boy. And that is going to form an incredibly broken spell that I'm just going to call homing. Very much like the lightning spell, but a lot more dangerous. Oh, right. It doesn't work immediately, right away. But we found a key that leads to the final boss of the area. And we need to find an enemy to test our laser beam on. So I'm going to try and commit Sudoku again. So we can do a science. Blarg! And there I go sliding off into the universe. Yep, Souls-like rules apply. Once you die, you lose that gold that you dropped. So be careful with that. We need to use the bench to respawn some more enemies. And check this out. Shredding laser! It chases the enemies super fast and goes right through them. And then I had the idea, we could make this thing longer, just like the lightning bolt. And then I realized something. I'm not quite sure how long I was muted. Uh-oh. Or would it have even happened? I guess I'll find out at the end of the video. And I'll just have to try to figure out what I did. But, yeah. I muted myself again. Oops. When could it have possibly have been? During Rocket Shotgun? I didn't do anything with that. Also, that was stuck on the screen. Unless I have another button that mutes me. Well, yeah. What he said. I'm not quite sure how long I was muted. Could have been 10 minutes. I'm not quite sure. But we've confirmed that money can exist, and you saw how my laser works. Like that. Zigzag laser! I got all kinds of sharp up in here. Don't mess with me, bro. I'll sharp you wide open. These spells are so broken, and this is a basic spell the game teaches you. Like what? Did you want any balance in your game? Because I'm getting the impression... No, you did not. But we got the key. As per me explaining it in the future. It opens this. I feel a dark and powerful force emanating from below. Well, it's going to meet another dark and powerful force, me, with a laser beam spell. You know what? I'll wait till the the end of the game to show you the Gunstar hero. Which way to go? Would it have sent me into lava if I went into other places? Yes! Yes, it would have. This is called Good Peck and Luck, the room. I didn't know which teleporter was going to send me where. Why do my spells keep on getting more and more broken? Enemies can't escape this. They can't escape it. Wait, how am I supposed to make that jump now? Oh, there's double jump orbs. Okay, that's the problem why I don't like dashing. Is because you could dash right past a double jump orb. So I like to jump into it from below. But sometimes I hit lava instead. Darn it. Let me heal. There we go. Excuse me, I have the kill enemies spell. I cast Testicular Torsion. Target balls, turn 180 degrees. That's the programming language for Testicular Torsion. Put it into your game, and find out how many testiculars you can torsion. That enemy died, and I didn't even know what it was. Because this spell hates everybody. This spell hates everybody. You know what? I'm just gonna cheese this a little bit. Oh! Okay, it's not going to be... It's not gonna be that cheesy. That was a tricky one. Very tricky. The final warp. Is this the boss room? You stupid girl. Our work is already complete. Oh yeah? Well, I have a sharp spell, Viron Grand Wizard. Watch as I ascend! Watch as you descend. Watch your health melt. And Furnace the Flame Tyrant. Meet Sharp. Meet all the Sharp. All the time. I got explosions too. Somehow my shotgun spell and my sword spell has combined. I heal. Oh! Why is your power so broken? Almar's Journal, entry 98. Tomorrow I'll confront Viron, the Grand Wizard. It may well be the end of me, but the evil that he wishes to bring upon the world cannot be unleashed. If I should fail, it's likely the whole world will be plunged into darkness. Sadie, if you're reading this, I'm dead. Ah. You must succeed where I failed. Here's this laser beam spell. Believe in yourself, you're stronger than you know. I'm proud of you and I love you, Dad. And that was Arcane Assembly. Ends pretty quickly. Also, where was this music in the game? This music bops. It's a little loud, but it bops. Andrew Livoci? I couldn't read that. IGDC for testing and feedback. It was made by like 3 people. That's it. That's the credits. Thanks for playing! I was pressing E to continue, yes. And now you have all the time in the world to master your spells and do whatever. Whatever you want. The world is your oyster. So, one final spell for the road as a treat. They call this the Gunstar Hero spell. I guess they're trying to mimic one of the weapons you could get in Gunstar Hero. Okay, good. I didn't mute myself this time. Gunstar Zon. Mouse angle. All of that. That spawns an orb called Shot. The shot is Ignite. On Collide, the shot makes a whole bunch of other shots. And they're shot at different angles. Which is due to this up here, the shot direction modifier. And that's it. Gunstar Zan. Hold on. Let me de-equip these real quick. Gunstar Zan. No, we never went back to destroy that one explodable pillar, but I guess it was just another crystal. Oh. I forgot to put it on my right click. It does that. Yeah, it does exactly what it says it's gonna do. I forget which Gunstar shot that was. I think it might be Fire Fire. No, Fire Fire is a longer flamethrower. I forget what this is. But you can only shoot it in... I notice I can't shoot it only in certain directions. The cardinals and the diagonals. I can't shoot it at weird angles. So this is a pretty cool game. Pretty neat concept. This is a good proof of concept game. But it needed more. And it needed more stuff. Like secrets and super boss maybe. Because your spells become just so broken. As we saw. Like, I annihilated the final boss with a laser beam the game teaches me how to make. Really. There's a few gems I haven't picked up. But for like 3 people, one of them doing most of the programming and 2 people doing the music, it's a fairly competent game. You just need to turn it into something a little bit bigger now. And people will enjoy it. Like Rain said, this is kind of deeper than Mages of Mistralia, but also not deep at all. I agree with that. Mages of Mistralia is another game kind of like this one. Except they have preset modifiers. And you can attach them to spells, but you can make like ultra super spells that have like all the modifiers. When Rain played it, they made like a rock spell that both like shoots rocks from the ground and then the rocks are homing. It got nuts. It got nuts. It was just rocks everywhere. It was oops all rocks. This is like a programming version of that where you're making your own modifiers. And if you could play around with variables and sets and all that, you can make some pretty wacky spells. These aren't even the wackiest of spells that I saw. I saw spells that cost like several hundred, but they didn't have any export text, and I couldn't even read. The picture was so zoomed out, I couldn't read what the variables were, even when I zoom in. So I wasn't able to replicate them. So yeah. My next game? It might be a blast of the past for me. It's not going to be Born of Bread. It's not going to be Toem. I thought of something else that I could do. It was going to be a stream game. But I think I'm going to turn it into a video project instead. Because it has audio problems and I could increase them in post better. But I gotta go back through this video and find out where I got muted and where. Good night, everybody.